What's up everyone, welcome to CSR and welcome to the Link to the Past Randomizer Crossworld Keysanity Tournament. Keysanity Tournament. I wanted to be fast, Jesus. Yeah, welcome to Qualification race number 6. And without further ado, let's actually mute the music, even though that soundtrack is amazing. And let's go over to the layout page and say hi to the commentators for today, to Wisoidador and to Mr. Bob, Mr. Dr. Bobtastic.
All right. Broadcasting live from the mixed up world of Hyrule, and by mixed up, I mean just ridiculously mixed up. This is the Crossworld Keysanity Tournament. How's it going? Joining me today, Wisoidador, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I can't wait to see what's going to be thrown at us today.
Oh, well, there's going to be things thrown at us. Left, right, up, down, whichever direction you like to throw things at. We got a couple of runners here on the restream, a good 25 runners in the qualifier race itself. We've got Ninbon and Wolf38 as your two restreamed runners today, and there are plenty of other runners in this race. It's going to be a stacked field, and I hope you guys are ready for this shenanigans right here.
And for those unfamiliar with Crossworld Keysanity, it's an entrance randomizer for Link to the Past, which randomizes all the entrances, dungeons, caves, whatever, amongst each other. And Crossworld, part of it means that you can enter something in the light world and exit out in the dark world, whether you have the Moon Pearl or not, which can lead to some fun shenanigans as a bunny, as we saw yesterday. And the Keysanity, of course, keys being in their dungeons, or not in their dungeons, you have to find them anywhere.
Alright, so we've got the Moon Pearl in Link's house right off the bat, as well as a heart in Sanctuary. And Sanctuary is the vanilla location today, so both of our starting locations pretty much straight up vanilla. That's fine with me. Looks like Wolf might be heading for a Houlihan play, though he'll probably check this entrance first.
Yeah, Ninban also doing a Houlihan in the more traditional way amongst a lot of runners these days, going to fake flipper at the witch, or a fake flipper at the whirlpool below Link's house, go check the witch's huts, because that's kind of an isolated entrance, and then go over to check the drop down and Houlihan.
Man, I am out of the meta right now.
Also, I'm a little disappointed in that immediate Moon Pearl, because we don't get to see another demonstration of bunny luck.
Yeah, bunny shenanigans are, in fact, very real.
I guess Wolf is going to substitute for us by just being a bunny the whole time.
Yeah, it seems good. Alright, 225 rupees, which is a nice little chunk of change to get started. Definitely enough to buy the bottle vendor's item and things like that, as well as a few other necessary expenditures.
I believe the bunny form of Argus is an Argai, the little puff that's on it for chat. Yeah, so we'll see where they go. Usually, once you Houlihan, the tendency is to go to Kakariko and start clearing that. Looks like Wolfie is going to go check the ferry, the entrance that's normally a ferry right below Link's house.
It's the entrance that I refer to as Light World Hype Cave. And we find Desert Palace. This is the right side of Desert. Of course, plenty of entrances out of Desert one way or another, so this is a sort of both item location and potentially some connection locations to get you where you're going.
Yeah, there's one free item in Desert Palace when you go in, and you can check another. Well, now there's 3 free items in Desert Palace
key.
when you go. Yeah, now there's 3 free items.
It's not actually vanilla. Vanilla would be on the torch, but come on. That's the second one in a row where the Desert Small Key has been in Desert.
And then you can scout out another hint, or scout out another item on the torch and check this hint in here, which hints are now a new thing in entrance. They're a little wordier and harder to understand sometimes, but they are a new thing, and they can tell you some helpful stuff sometimes.
Wolf is going to go ahead and check the right side of Desert, which has a sword. Very nice.
Yeah, it's not
What
at
is this
all
3-minute
normal to,
sword shenanigans?
it's not all that normal to get a sword this early. It's pretty nice to get. Yeah. Oh my god, and the boots.
Excuse me?
Okay, well this is gonna be a nice seat on the front end anyway. We'll see what happens on.
In before sub 2.
And Wolfie's just gonna turn those boots immediately into the Bonk Rocks upon Link's house. Interesting. He doesn't have any bombs. He could just go back in the desert and get those 10 bombs off the torch if he really wanted to get some.
Mm-hmm.
Also, people don't normally check connectors very early, but with the Moon Pearl, he can also just go right out the left side of the desert to see where that.
Or even out the middle. So we find that Ninbon has found the back of Skull Woods. That was at the Lake Hylia fortune teller. Just a big 20 inside. I love Argus's death sprite. Like, you don't even know.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And Wolfie did, in fact, decide to go ahead and get those bombs off the torch with those boots. Not a bad plan. Save some rupees, save some time. Speaking of
rupees.
So the archery game there at the what's normally a shop down there at Lake Hylia, so you can have all the rupees you really want to if you feel.
And both of our runners are going to see the same side of Desert Palace here. Our Nimbon finding the left side over at the eastern front end. I have a name for that, but it doesn't make sense to anyone else.
Where did he enter? Was it the cave on the way to?
Yeah, it's the cave on the front of outside of eastern area.
Right, so it's normally a ferry, I believe. I don't recall exactly what it's called in the spoiler log. It's something about Eastern Entrance Ferry, something weird.
The name that I've given that one is, you know where Pod was? Because that's what me and Walther would call it when we did the 2v2 thing. Yeah, it makes no sense. It's just dumb, and I love it.
So Wolfie has found Hyrule Castle at where Sahasrahla normally is, by the way. Speaking of something with multiple entries.
Hyrule Castle, of course, one of those places where you got a ton of different things, entrances you can go through, and of course a few items. Now, these items down here are technically not in logic without the Hyrule Castle small key, but I know of no one who cares about that particular bit of logic.
No, that could be a really nice bit of logic to shortcut if anything good is down here, because that key can end up in a lot of stupid places, and these items are basically free to get. And you'd have to try really hard to lock yourself out of them. Well, actually, it's basically impossible, but you'd have to try like really hard to like have something bad happen for getting them before you.
Especially given the current location of Sanctuary, which all you'll need is a glove to get there. Now, we could end up with, no gloves for days, but once you have access to the back of Escape, there's really no reason not to worry. Really, no reason to worry about that small key. Right, Nimbon is now checking the front of Desert. That is going to be Tavern, while Wolfie finds the Spectacle Rock Cave, finds the observation deck, as I call it, and heads out the exit. I believe that was at Eastern Palace proper. And we end up in West Dark Death Mountain on Spike Cave. And Swamp Palace is found at the Southwest Dark Death Mountain location. And we know that Spike Cave now is 3 bombs.
Yeah, that hint being the only thing they can really do in Swamp Palace right now until they find the dam, which an entrance permanently drains the water outside the dam and permanently fills the water inside Swamp Palace. Although they are a long way off from actually being able to get in there and do anything.
Many items necessary before Swamp Palace is clearable. Did find a small key to Turtle Rock in the back of the tavern. And we find Graveyard Ledge here in the Chicken Hut, which Graveyard Ledge is one of those entrances where not only do you get an item, but you've also got a nice spot to refill on bombs if you really need it. And hello, Ganon's Tower!
Alright, Ganon's Tower in the Lumberjack's house. It's worth 3 free items right now. With the boots. With 2 that are just always there.
That's a small key.
Right, I don't think he even got anything good out of the bottom, but he could go all the way through if he gets the lamp logically now to the back without a...
That could be the access that we're looking for to that back of escape. Meanwhile, Ninbon has found Laser Bridge.
Yeah, doing
small
some...
key to Hera. Interesting.
Doing some laser skips. No, this won't be in logic, but they're good for, or easy to do for an experienced player to get 4 items. And no telling where the cape is, so no reason.
And it looks like Lumberjack contains the well once again. So prepare to get jebaited into Aga Tower.
Yeah, yes, that's a really bad place for the well. 5 items that you could get by defeating Aghanim, but you don't know that you need them without any kind of hint telling you otherwise. So that is never a good.
Found Cave 45 there in Sahasrah's home on the left, as well as Agina's cave. Now, Ganon is in the Lost Woods, and we also note that one of the tree poles was 20 rupee drops, so feels pretty good.
Yeah, they're not lacking for resources right now at all, which isn't always the case, so that's pretty nice.
There's our first pod key.
Yeah, 6 pod keys.
See a few of those.
Yeah, 6 pod keys in Keysanity. Most people don't need all 6 to clear if they know the hammer jump. And of course, it just depends on what's in the back, but you do need all 6 logically to get to several of the chests, because by way of using your keys wrong, you can lock yourself out of stuff. So there's a lot of logic in place to prevent that. But we do find Paradox Cave. I think that was in Kakariko still.
Yeah, that was in what I call the Northeast Snitch House. And Paradox Cave, 7 items, of course, and also 3 entrances. So,
yeah, they found a pretty decent amount of connectors so far that they can investigate. So they probably have to go through the Dark World through one of these mini caves at some.
And there's our ice rod.
All right, so actual ice rod not hard to find today, but the other ice rods that are disguised as keys, we'll see. And a mirror. So they have a moon pearl and a mirror. The Dark World is pretty much looking really good right now, so they can clear a lot of stuff out.
All right. Nimbon going out the lower exit finds his way over to Pod Foyer. And speaking of connecting to the Dark World, and we've got Super Bunny Cave. It's the back end. I don't know why Ninbon's not going in for that. Okay.
I think he thought about it for a second and realized, no, I should just go here.
Yeah, it's like, wait, this is not the front end. This is not a one-way trip.
Yeah, finding this end first is always a lot better, because if you do go on the other side, you are cut off from the route that you're on.
Alright, so there we go. Wolfie now doing the laser bridge thing. And we'll go check Dark 5.
Yeah, the main problem, or the main danger down there is that Murder-Dactyl, as we like to refer to them, because they pack quite a punch, and they can be a little unavoidable sometimes. They fly a lot faster and straighter than the regular crow.
And we found the blacksmith at the Light Cave 5. I don't know if you refer to that as Cave 5, but I do because it's right next to where you flute to 5.
Yeah, I just call it a Flute 5 spot, pretty much.
All right. So Wolfie's going to get the ice rod and the mirror here in Paradox Cave, whereas Nimbon is going to go ahead and try to get to, well, going to mirror in front of Sahasrala's hut first, which we know to be Hyrule Castle. And he's going to go ahead and peace out for a second. Who might come back? Oh, changing his mind.
Yeah, and right now he's demonstrating the how great it is to find the mirror early, because you can just pair entire areas together, makes things clearing the entrances a lot more efficient. So Wolfie's making his way to the same area, so they're going to be kind of walking all over each other's steps for a few minutes. So I guess what do we want them to see here soon? They've got to find a way over to the village of Outcast side as well. So maybe one of the other connectors they'll have to go through.
Yeah, there's plenty of connectors we haven't seen the entrances for, so the other side for. So it's all pretty much up in the air right now.
Yeah, with Moon Pearl Mirror, they got a lot of access to the world. Really, they haven't found too many dungeons yet. But once there's
basically swamp and desert, I think, and they haven't even found the end of desert.
I wouldn't actually be surprised. I think Wolfie was the only one that found the way to the mountain. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes up there soon, because with the mirror you can access the entirety of Light World, Death Mountain.
Well, here's Hamburger Helper hint. Thanks.
Yeah, and for those not familiar with the entrance hints, all the 5 NPC storytellers that give you hints in the vanilla game that tell you kind of like about the ice rod and some other random stuff, they are hints here in the entrance randomizer. So they're, in addition to all the tiles that are hints, we have 5 NPC hints. And Nimmen's going to go ahead and sequence break to the Dark Sewers chest, which with boots isn't too bad. I don't know.
Sword helps as well.
Yeah, it's a little easier if you have something like fire rod to light the torches, but yeah, sword and boots, it's pretty doable.
I know a lot of runners of cross keys tend to practice dark rooms, religiously. I mean, you might even see Aga Tower dark sometimes in this mode.
Yeah, I can't say that I practice them, but I can actually do them for the most part now after multiple.
So unfortunately, Ninbon did not manage to find the Hyrule Castle small key, so can't actually go to the back yet. But that's
alright. Wolfie's gonna go. Oh, he found his way to Mire though. That's a pretty nice place to find. With that was what, the right side entrance of Hyrule Castle.
Yep. Now Wolfie has made his way to the pyramid, which has the flute. And another reason to go over to the pyramid is once you have the mirror, that's 3 more entrances you can check, though really just 2 right now, as there's no access to the Agate Tower entrance.
Yeah, you're gonna need the Master Sword or the Cape to get into that entrance, or
beat Agate Tower.
Yeah, in really obscure cases, which I've only ever seen one time, defeating Aghanim to get the barrier to release, and the runners that they had at the time actually sequence broke past that. By
I believe I was around for that race, and it was dumb. Here's Eastern Palace.
One of those strange quirks of entrance logic. Yeah, so that was an entrance palace on top. Oh, with a hook shot on top of the castle. And so now with the flute and the hook shot, he doesn't even need to go to Dark Death Mountain to get a lot of access to the mountain. He can just flute.
Seems entirely legit. And hookshot being here in Eastern Palace is a big, big deal. And pretty convenient time to pick up the hookshot, just saying. So now you can pick up this chest pretty quick. Hey, look, Ice Palace.
Yeah, that's in the Mire area. Oh, yeah, it's in
the desert. Eastern Palace, by the way, was the left side of Hyrule Castle, if I remember correctly.
And Ninban actually demonstrating something that's in logic that some people might not think about. You can mirror behind those rocks, and a glove can be behind those rocks based on having them.
We find chest game in Mire Shed, but nothing terribly important there. Crack on the pyramid leads to the Queen of Fairies. That is our upgrade fairy, so if you wanted extra bombs today, good luck.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice hint to have. It saves you a bit of time there for not bringing the bomb.
So it looks now that we have located 2 of the Misery Mire small keys, which are, once again, only one do you ever really want to see, because that makes things a little convenient. But 3 of them are required to get the items on the left side by logic. So if you see all 3 of them, you might think there's something there.
And then man doing a casual 20-minute check of Sanctuary.
Mm-hmm. Now he did find the dam over in Desert left side, so that's going to get him, the Swamp Palace flooded. One quirk of Entrance Randomizer is if you find the dam first and activate it, you will not be able to access the hint in Swamp Palace unless you have the flippers.
Well, speaking of hookshot, I think that Wolfie actually did not find this. I think he skipped this. We found hookshot cave in the Bonk Rock.
And Ninbon attempting a hover there, pretty close there, getting a little bit off the edge. I was proud of myself. I managed to hover one of these chests last night, but it wasn't the one that was relevant.
I don't expect Wolfie to forget that for too long. As far as drops go, has anybody checked the castle drop? I'm trying to figure out if we know.
I believe Ninbon checked it early on. I don't remember what it was.
I'm trying to remember or figure out if we know what's above Ganon at the moment.
Looks like Wolfie's about to activate the flute, so if you'll indulge me for a second. This mode is freaking nuts. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Just let me try to get my point across. With all the things that are shuffled both near and far, you can be sure of this, you gon' get lost.
Truer words have never been spoken, or a song I believe. Yeah, so what do we have at the Ganon drop, or the pyramid drop, is what I'm trying to think. What have we not seen? We saw the well.
Have we seen Magic Bat?
Yeah, the bats at the castle. I saw the lumberjack. I don't know if we've seen the thief.
Yeah, Thieves' Hideout might be there.
Don't recall seeing the fairy either, but I'm honest. I think I missed at least one drop down.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen I don't think I've seen the vanilla Magic Bat entrance.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking we haven't seen. Ninban has found his way to the main Dark World area. I didn't see where he came out, or how he came.
Yeah, it looked like he came out of the Bumper Cave area. But I could be making that up. We find a small key to Ice Palace in what I affectionately refer to as the Curiosity Shop.
And Wolfie picking up his small Turtle Rock key in one of the 2 free items that you get in Kakariko, the bottle vendor being the other one. Okay, so he came out of the back of Hookshot Cave. I was trying to think of what cave he was in. Hookshot Cave
to Dark Lumberjack. So, nothing to do with Bumper Cave just yet. Okay, Magic Bat today is the hideout. So it looks like the fairy drop down is going to be Pyramid. So, little less incentive to go to the top of Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, that's a nice drop to have in that spot.
Though, of course, if there are items up the top of Ganon's Tower, that disincentive can be a problem.
All right,
The
so
anti-fairy garden chest in Eastern Palace contains a compass of skull wood. So if you had done that, if you had seen the front of Turtle Rock here beforehand, before going to Eastern Palace, you could avoid that chest. Seems pretty good.
yeah, and we saw Nimban found another connector in the Dark Sanctuary entrance, the East Death Mountain Ferry connector, which is a connector that trips very many people up who are new to entrance because they don't ever use it for anything in any.
So like, what's this cave? I'm leaving. That by the way is one of the few connectors that is in fact, or it's one of the connectors that's not one way, even though it seems like it might be with all the drop downs. You can actually go both ways on that. So
Yeah, it can technically be one way depending on where you come out if you don't have the Moon Pearl,
right.
but you can Super Bunny your way back through the other side. So effectively, it's never going to be one way unless you get
Hey,
like
there's
blocked by
our
a rock.
sick kid entrance at King's.
All right, and Wolfie checked race game, but he was gone so quick I didn't see it. I guess we'll see if he ever bothers to pick up the. We found a dark cave at the right side race game. Looks like
The back of Old Man? No.
Yeah.
No, this is Death Mountain Descent.
Oh yeah, it's the entrance, the one. No, I think it is back, man. Oh yeah, no, you're right. I don't usually see people take it from that side. That side's a little harder to.
And it's Witch's Hut. Well, there we go. Meanwhile, Ninbon has decided to foray into Skull Woods, finds the drop down to the double entrance section.
Alright, Wolfie turning that flute into Death Mountain, and now he really is in the old man's cave. Ninman's going to want to find that flute too long. That's not only great for Death Mountain access, it's great for general mobility in this mode, considering how far out of the way a lot of entrances are that you have to.
Yeah. I mean, depending on where the starting points are, it can be particularly useful.
Yeah, sometimes the starting points are really bad. We don't know where we'll find out very soon where the old man's starting point is anyway. Sanctuary is not too bad today.
Vanilla Sank is a reasonable starting point. The worst is when it's in Hyrule Castle, because it's just like, what am I gonna do?
Walk a lot, or I guess
believe that is the answer. All right, big heart from Old Man, and Old Man's cave, of course, was actually vanilla, at least the entrance there. And we see a hint, and it's garbage. And just in case you didn't know, there are hearts under those pots in case you get in there and you're low on health and you're like, oh, I can't read the hint. Yes, you can.
Yeah, Ninban decided to hug a mummy, so he didn't quite make it all the way through Skull Woods, but luckily inside of a dungeon it doesn't really matter if you die. Well, unless you're like at the bottom of Ice Palace, I guess.
Looks like Wolfie has located the big chest of Turtle Rock. And for those of you who don't know, entering Turtle Rock in the middle gives you access to some additional chests. This is something that a lot of people learned with the inverted mode when that was released.
Yeah, so
the people who've been playing entrance, we've known that for a while.
Right. Inverted's entrance lightweight of truck taking on Turtle Rock is one of my favorite things of the mode. So there's 2 chests in here you can get pretty much right away. One of them is technically locked by 4 Turtle Rock keys, but nobody cares. It's one of those, key logic things that people are just going to deal with. And the other one is next to some chain chomps, which is kind of difficult to get to if you don't time it right. but it's essentially considered always available, even if you just have bombs.
We got a GT small key for Wolfie.
And in Skull Woods, by the way, Ninban found both powder and bottle, so 2 fetch quests. He knows where Sick Kid is.
Yep, seems entirely legit.
Yeah, you can just hit these crystal switches with bombs, which is why this is always considered available, no matter what lack of equipment you have.
Yeah, you could literally just come in here with nothing but bombs. Hey, Master Sword seems good. Little unfortunate that he did have to kill that Pokey earlier with the normal sword, with the fighter sword, whatever. Anyways, Nimban finding Hookshot Cave again, or going through Hookshot Cave again. And Wolfie has found the other end of Super Bunny Cave, so we know where that goes.
Yeah,
and there's the witch's hut.
Seems like a lot of mountain access early this.
And in the exit of Spectacle Rock Cave, we find another shop. And there's a small key up on top of Spectacle Rock, so I imagine that Wolfie's going to go get that.
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes you can go 2 hours without finding your way up here, and I think they have like four ways up here right now, if they really. Ninban found Thieves Town in the Village of Outcasts, just slightly removed from its normal spot. I believe it was in C-shaped.
There we go. Oh, hello. There's the Castle Tower small key, or one of the Castle Tower small keys, and we've got the Turtle Rock small key in Thieves Town. Okay, so there's that bunny, or that fairy connector again. So now we know where both ends of that are. One of them is at Tower of Hera.
I'm pretty sure nobody actually wants to see those Castle Tower keys, but because they're just going to be like, they're going to ignite the debate of, do I do Aghanim or do I not do Aghanim? But at least you can get both items in the Aghanim's Tower when you find it.
Yeah, I like finding one Aga Tower small key. I'm not a huge fan of finding both.
Well, being at Lumberjack, super early boots, somewhat early Aga Tower key, I'd be sweating it a little.
Yeah, probably. There's our Sick Kid located for Wolfie. Once again, both of our runners finding that before they found the bottle. Noting there's that small key again in the Lost Woods hideout, which is in Magic Bat. Speaking of Magic Bat, we have seen that. We could see the powder put to good use.
And it looks like Ninban's getting this hint before he finds Eastern, so that's going to save a little bit of time on his end.
And Wolfie has located Hookshot Cave finally, after skipping out on Bonk Rocks for a while. But the upside is he has the hookshot and he can grab all of the chests within here. That is 300 rupees, 10 arrows, and bombs. So a whole lot of Garbo.
Yeah, the downside being that hookshot is worthless for the Hookshot Cave because there's nothing there.
Ooh, hello. There's Sahasrara.
Pod green pendant, that's sort of a good news, bad news. But that hammer is pretty good news.
Hammer is great news.
There being 14 items in pod having a wait, is it? It's 12, right? No, it's 14.
14.
But
yeah.
Yeah, that makes it a good news, bad news, because there's a lot of items there, but it's a pendant, and you're like not gonna want to get. Sorry, go ahead. Oh, okay. I was just gonna ask, did Wolfie turn his hookshot into an East Death Mountain visit? Because I don't recall seeing him go over there.
I don't believe he has yet. And if he goes to Thieves Town here, he could get that hammer out of Sahasrah's closet and take the East Death Mountain route from above.
Yeah, that might be slightly more efficient.
Spiral Cave has the heart container and gives you a exit on what is normally the laser bridge entrance.
Yeah, Ninman found his own way without the hook shot, and he's gonna go ahead and check. Where was the front of Spiral Cave? It was somewhere in Village of Outcast, right? The bomb hunt?
I believe so. Wolf also gonna go ahead and check out Thieves Town. And we find the Brothers Hut, which has a connector between them.
Yeah, connectors leading to connectors is where Crossworld could get a little messy for. And
here is the business entrance of Spectacle Rock Cave, found at the Turtle Rock Eye entrance, or the left side ledge on East Death Mountain. The open cave southeast of Dark Lake Hylia leads to a cave with two chests. So that's either one of the fairies, though I think it'd say a great fairy if that was the case. And the other one would be Mire Shed?
Maybe.
I mean, it's two chests, so. And now we don't actually have access to that yet. Though there could be a connector over there. Now, one thing you want to do if you're doing these entrance runs is you want to make sure to keep track of certain places that you might have to return to, like Sahasrahla here. You want to make sure you know where that is, so that you're not being like, okay, now where was that again?
Yeah, in case turning the green pennant becomes important, or in the bomb. Well, assuming that the pyramid crack wasn't useless like it is in this seed. Finding the bomb shop again. We found the old man's save point in Village of Outcasts, actually, which is not a bad save point, really.
Yeah, seems good, actually. Good question from the chat, why Nimbon didn't check the Mimic Cave entrance. I'm not entirely certain. Oh, looks like Spiral Cave was the hammerlocked hut, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he got a little invested in going through all the connectors, and he's cut himself off by going through Spectacle Rock Cave, I guess. It can be really tempting to just like follow a chain of connectors without clearing the area, but it can also be a little dangerous. You kind of want to try to clear as much as you can on the way, and then go back and check what connectors you can, so you don't leave a good item behind.
Yeah. In terms of computer science, that's what we call a breadth first search, as opposed to a depth first search, where you check the entrances that are readily available, and then you go deeper.
Yeah, for instance, here's Aga Tower, and I don't think Ninban actually found that because he went through the brother's house. And Ninban doesn't have the hook shot, so he has to go back to East Death Mountain the long way if he decides to make it.
Now, Wolf is going to make a foray into the dark section of Aga Tower. Now, this is a section that's rarely visited by anyone, but in this particular version of Entrance Rando, it is doable. Alright, so it looks like... Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, Ninman's going to attempt to show us another trick of bombing his way into Turtle Rock, since he has not found the hook shot.
There is a setup that allows you to do this bomb jump.
And it doesn't look like Ninman's entirely familiar with it, but I don't know. Oh,
That looks close. I think you need to be a little further up.
Yeah, if he had just hugged the left wall, he could actually clip through the railing like you do with the hammer jump.
Yeah, that would get you into the left side there.
Yeah, does he have a Turtle Rock Big Key?
Relevant if you had... Yeah, the only real difference is if you had the Turtle Rock Big Key, and he doesn't, so...
Yeah, so it would actually be a little better if he took the easy route and just clipped through the railing, just did the hug the left side and didn't even try to get.
Yeah. With the bomb jump, you need to be 1 or 2 pixels off the left wall, and then back yourself up into the right spot. It's similar to the bomb jump in Spectacle Rock Cave.
Yeah, I expect Wolfie's actually going to go back and check the Turtle Rock ledge because he's already been through the other exit of Spectacle Rock and he knows where it goes, so he doesn't have any reason to check this. So he's going to go back and check Turtle Rock ledge, and we'll see what it is that Ninban skipped out on.
Yes, you can't spin buffer, as P-Train was saying there. It just doesn't work, unfortunately. All right, there is small key to Castle. Wait, is that both of them? Or was
No, that's the same one that Wolfie got.
All right, I'm dumb.
All right, Ninban knows where the other end of that is, so he's not going to check that.
Wolfie did just check Mimic Cave. I didn't actually see what it was, but
it was a dark connector.
He didn't seem particularly interested.
And I forgot that Ninban has the hammer, so he actually does have a not bad way back up here. And we see a big key on Floating Island, so that's going to be pretty relevant.
There's Bomb Shop, which, as we discussed earlier, is basically irrelevant.
Yeah, it does tell you which crystals are 5 and 6, so I'm surprised you didn't just talk to him, at least for the info, because that could be, helpful in lieu of finding the map.
And well, Ninban did go ahead and check this entrance now, found Aga Tower. Unfortunately, the hammer doesn't quite reach across that ledge there, so he's having to go around, but some solid hammer shots to finish off those guards, and he'll get the remaining chest here after navigating the maze in the dark.
Alright, looks like we are going to get a Thieves hideout check for a small key to GT. And with hammer and hookshot, well, that makes GT kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think at this point I would be all about that Ganon's Tower. Just clearing out left side as best I can. No big key, unfortunately, so you won't be able to get the big chest. But who knows? Wait. That was the what of Swamp Palace? Map, I think?
I didn't actually see it either time. I looked away at the wrong... so Wolfie is, in fact, doing what we said and going straight to Ganon's Tower. He actually has 2 Ganon's Tower keys. I think one of them is out of logic, but who...
Yeah. Technically, to get some of these areas in logic, you have to have 3, and for some of them you need 4, but nobody actually cares.
Interesting that he decided to skip the pot key, unless he got that when he was down there the other.
Yeah, I think he just skipped it.
You do only need 2 keys. Oh, hey, there's a glove.
Alright, so that's traditional Dark World access. You no longer have to go through a bunch of hoops to get there.
Yeah, you basically only need 2 keys to full clear the entirety of the basement and upstairs, but that's also somewhat predicated on you actually getting the pop.
Right. Alright, so here is our map chest, which contains the Cane of Burna today. Shoutouts to Required Burna Blind.
Yeah, that wasn't technically required, though, I don't
No, it wasn't. It just felt like it.
Yeah, everybody decided it was because they were running out of ideas, but... so, with that glove, Wolfie actually has a ton of access now. A lot of easy access.
Ice Palace small key we found.
Yeah, Ice Palace would be looking a little interesting if they had a fire rod or a Bombos medallion. Although going without the big key is always kind of...
Yeah, literally nobody likes to watch, likes to go into Ice Palace without the big key. Oh, is that it? No, that's the pod big key. Eastern Palace map, very nice for knowledge. And of course, we know pod is green pendant, but again, pod has so many items, it is super unlikely that you don't need something from there.
Yeah, and four more items here in Gan's Tower, and then Wolfie's gonna have to make some choices about where he wants to go with all this huge amount of access he has now. It's quite a bit he hasn't checked. I don't think he went to South Shore yet. He's got a lot down there. Now he's got a glove. There's there's less reason to avoid that area. He hasn't checked some of the mirror spots.
Oh, hey, blue mail. Very nice. So I know a lot of people want to put off South Shore as long as you can without a glove, because there's just those extra locations that have a glove requirement. It just feels a lot better that way. Nice sword beam strats here on Armos. The sword beams are, fairly effective. I think it's like 12 hits per Armos.
Yeah, this is my favorite way of doing this, actually. Like, I mean, well, Silver's is obviously cool, but this is like my favorite, like, tactic outside of having the.
I think Burna is probably my favorite, just because it's so strange, and you can just pin them all against the north wall.
Folks, just quickly, I gotta quickly reload the layout, because I just noticed that the small keys for Castletown are not showing, and they could play a role here, so let's quickly go for a reload. We'll just take a few seconds. There we go again, well, and now we have small keys. Yay!
And meantime, then Wolfie found the flippers and another bottle with a red potion in it down there in the bottom of Ganon's Tower. So that's even more access to a lot.
And a pod key as well, so that's more access to pod. And we're going over to Light Shopping Mall.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised just getting the flippers that he didn't try to combo them.
Nimbon went for the race game. I didn't actually see what was there, but he also found Blind's Hut in the back.
The race game itself was junk. These 5 items, though, could be interesting. Oh, speaking of 5 items, we find Hype Cave at the same time, so trackers get...
Trackers, start your engines. Another glove in Blind's Hut. Kana Samaria. And in Hype Cave, book in Blind's Hut.
Wow, okay, that was a lot of stuff.
And a bottle. Good lord.
So mitts are pretty available.
Digging game apparently. Shows how much I pay attention. Thank God for trackers.
Yeah, so they have mitts available as well, so really they have access to just about everything.
There's a sickening amount of access, and the cape was found.
Small key to swamp. We got flipper, small key to swamp. We found the dam, and we've got hammer and hook shot. So that seems like a play.
Yeah, Nimbon still doesn't have the hook shot though, unfortunately.
Yeah, between the 2 runners, it seems like a play. For either one of them right now, it's kind of like Wolfie's a little.
Now, I don't know if anyone actually wants to go to Swamp Palace, to be fair, but, it's there.
If you have to do it, I'd rather get the access early if you have to do it, because it feels less bad than that being one of your last checks and having...
Yeah, fair enough. Alright, Nimbon checking the bonk rocks near the bomb shop, where we find King's Tomb, containing just some bombs. Whereas Wolfie is checking Bumper Cave and finds the top of Paradox Cave, which nobody checked yet. There. And the top of Bumper Cave found at the the Death Mountain Ascent Cave. Now Wolfie could go through that actually with the hook shot.
Yeah, that's a bit of a logic that trips up newer players as well. That you can hook shot through those bumpers, and it is sometimes.
Right. We find the Pyramid Fairy in the bomb shop. And Wolfie's gonna go turn in the bottle at Sick Kid. Finds a small key to Ganon's Tower. So the Ganon's Tower play looking more and more in logic as the case may be. In fact, with those 3 keys that he's found, the flippers that he found and the pod key down there, as well as that bottle, are all in logic.
Yeah, there's just so many places to go right now, and so many choices to make. And once he gets down to race game, he's gonna have mitts. So Ninban needs to get to the top of Hyrule Castle to get that hook shot before Ganon's Tower looks too good to him, probably. But at least he found a glove.
Yep. It is possible to do the left side of Ganon's Tower without a hook shot if you are capable of doing either hovers or specific bomb jumps.
Yeah, in Inman's current situation with so much to do, I don't know how excited I'd be about doing it, but it's definitely possible. You can clear the entire left side. Catfish coming through with us for us today with the sword.
Catfish throwing out weaponry.
Wolfie showing a nice tactic you can do with the flippers and the mirror, comboing Catfish with the entire Zora area. Finds himself a hint, and here we already knew that. I don't know if Wolfie.
If I said I was king due to some watery catfish throwing a sword at me, they'd put me away. Alright, I'm done.
Nimban found Spike Cave. He's got cape and half magic, so this is in logic. He's gonna go for it. Didn't we get a hint for Spike Cave though? Or...
I believe so. Yeah, it's just 3 bombs.
I missed what was on Zora's ledge, but Zora himself, full heart container, it's not the worst. Apparently the ledge was crap because he is going to go ahead and piece.
I did not realize that those were stairs at the end of Spike Cave.
Oh, you've never seen anybody do the spin speed out of there? It's pretty neat.
My life has changed.
It's a great way to not be cut off when you're routing in Spike Cave. Just shows itself.
All right, so there is Wolfie checking the back of Escape. We've got map of desert, small key to pod, and 20 rupees. He's going to go ahead and go to the dark escape chest from the back. And hello, we found Floating Island. Looked like he got there through Swamp Palace.
No, actually it was the rock on the way to desert, which was the Elder House, and the other end came out
okay.
We're seeing a lot of pod keys, which I'm sure the runners aren't like super excited.
Turns out that was the big key of Misery Mire. If we ever find Mire, we'll be in good shape. Minus, of course. Well, there it is. Now, of course, Ninban has not located the Cane of Samaria, which was in Hype Cave.
Yeah, he would pretty much be in a position to finish this if he wanted to take on a low percent Vitreous, although I don't, after like not having the lamp and also doing low percent Vitreous, I mean, he does have a potion left still in a fairy.
It seems like a perhaps less than ideal situation, but you know, some of our runners are good.
He at least doesn't have to make that choice right now since he has not found that. No fire source either, so he's locked out of the left side. Can't get those 2 chests. So he's really limited to getting, I believe, 5 chests in here with the big...
So we got the small key to Turtle Rock there.
Wolfie's making his way down to South Dark World. I think Ninman was just here. Spike Cave was around here somewhere.
Compass of Thieves Town.
Yeah, there it is.
Spike
But
Cave
Wolfie
was
got
the dam, and he got the hint, so he's out. Compass
Yeah.
of Desert. This is basically Compass Mire at this point.
Yeah, one more chest left in here, and so far hasn't been too much worth it. Once he leaves here, he'll be able to check the two entrances on the bottom of Dark Death Mountain. And then, depending on whether those are connectors, he'll have to make a choice there where he wants to go.
Checking the medallion required for Turtle Rock real quick. Turns out it's Vanilla Quake. Wolfie has located the back of Desert as well. They're at the Dark Lake Hylia Fortune Teller.
Alright, well, there's Pod. Ninban hasn't found nearly as many keys.
Now he does. Oh, well, Pod just basically handed you a potion for the purposes of sneaking through the right side if you want.
Yeah, he can save the front door key and check extra, stuff back here by doing the potion glitch. Now he can do it a couple times if he wants. That's a pretty nice hint for ending up in Thieves Town without the small key, which they currently don't have, or the hammer.
Yep. It's very, very nice to have a hint to tell you what's there, because if you find that early, you really don't want to have to go back.
Alright. Pulled off his oh, nope, he failed the potion glitch, it looks like.
Well, he's got another potion, so he can give it another try. He does need to lose a little magic for that. Wolfie, of course, finds that swamp small key.
Yeah, so Swamp probably looks like he failed it twice. That's unfortunate. If you even step a little bit off that wall, you are done as far as the potion glitch goes. So that's and he's not even going to check the two chests that he has with the one key.
He's just holding it off for now. Archery game was just a shop, and we'll see Wolfie probably going to go pick up the silvers here in a second.
I would imagine that Swamp Palace is looking kind of attractive for Wolfie because he does. Has he found the dam? Where was the dam? I think it was in the mire area. I don't know if he's checked the mire area, but he's about to have access to that too, regardless, because he's going to find his mitts. Oh, Nimman's going back in. Looks like he just wanted to see what was next door before he committed to the pod.
Alright, so Wolfie finding a veritable treasure trove in Blind's Hut. Every item in here potentially relevant, depending on when you get it.
So Wolfie has a lot more keys for Palace of Darkness, so it's going to be interesting to see what he can dig out of here when he comes in here. Ninban only coming away with a small turtle rock.
I think we might have all the T-Rock keys, except for the big one.
Yeah, I think between them both, we've seen a lot of them. Looks like on his tracker, that was the fourth.
Yeah, so he actually has all the Turtle Rock keys except the big one. Which he doesn't have the Cane of Samaria, though.
Yeah, which puts that, what was it? Was it Ganon's Tower small key in that chest in the middle of Turtle Rock, I think? So that's in logic.
So that might be why you found all those 4 Turtle Rock keys available right now, is so the flippers would become available.
Oh, Nimban, after just leaving Palace of Darkness, unfortunately finds another Palace of Darkness key. That's always something that...
That's how things tend to go. Looks like Wolfie's going to go turn in the blacksmith, which we recall is over here at Cave 5.
Yeah, very convenient with the flute. Like, super easy to do just very quickly before you go on to something.
And it's a mire key, so that's the 3rd mire key, actually.
Yeah, so if we're finding a fire source, it could be interesting. Of course, I wonder if it's a 5-6 crystal. You tend to find the 5-6 crystal keys a lot earlier. I don't know. We didn't get Nimban didn't talk to the bomb shop guy, so we don't know.
And Wolfie just gonna head right back over and grab the purple chest. This is pretty convenient old man starting point. Feels good. So we don't know for certain what all the pendants and crystals are. We've got Pod as one of the pendants, and the rest we're kind of up in the air on. Good old Keysanity making you wait for the maps to know.
Yeah, Ninban had the opportunity to get a couple of more crystal info, but a couple of more crystals information, but since he knew the pyramid was useless, he opted not to talk to them. They're taking a little bit of a death there on Dark South Shore, but he has a ferry, so.
Alright, so for Wolfie, I'm expecting this to be like a fairly thorough clear of the south area here. We're gonna see the purple chest turn in, probably a Bombos tablet check, and then he'll probably go to southeast Lake Hylia, because we know that there's a 2-chest cave over there.
Yeah, I think, was it Ninban that went over there already, I think? Or did Wolfie actually go over there already? Because he went to Catfish, so I think he went there actually already after he went to Catfish or before he went to Catfish, unless I'm crazy.
Maybe. Hey,
we did find Hera though in where the heck was that?
Canyon?
I think it might have been right outside of desert.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I call Canyon. I just realized that's not what everybody calls it.
Ninban picking up his flute, so he'll be happy about that. Now he's going to find his hookshot as well, actually. He has the cape, so we get to see this entrance that we didn't get to see.
So nothing particularly great that we can access in Tower of Hera at the moment.
Alright, so Wolfie is about to find Meyer with the big key and the cane and a tempered sword. So his loadout's a lot better even without the lamp. So we might just go ahead and see a full clear of Meyer here.
Yeah, I kind of expect it, to be honest. Well, except for left side, because no fire source.
Yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna suck a little bit, orphaning that, but I mean, you do get a pendant and or crystal, so it's not a bad idea to just.
Wolfie at the moment just saying nope, but I imagine he might just be checking the Turtle Rock medallion before he goes in. Oh, nope, he's taking a mirror here.
He never came up here.
Alright, Tower of Hera and Desert Palace are our 5-6 crystals today. We did find the Tower of Hera small key at one point.
Okay, that makes
big key is out and about.
Yeah, sorry, that makes left side Meyer a little more interesting to me. Alright, so Ninban's picked up his hook shot. I wouldn't be surprised if he heads for GT pretty quick after this. And then we'll see if we can't figure out what's in this middle entrance that Wolfie did not get to check.
And switch into the cape just fine. And let's see what we get. Womp womp.
Okay, so not missing too much out.
So I had this weird idea for the fortune tellers. The idea being that you can pay them and they will tell you the location of a random item in the game. and you can keep paying them, but their cost increases every time. I think it would be an interesting mechanic.
I know some people have brought up something like that. I wouldn't be too big of a fan because part of my love of rando was actually like searching things out, but I could see the appeal.
Yeah, I like the only reason I like that idea is that it's not guaranteed to help you at all. It probably tells you something you already know.
Yeah, I could see
all against the odds of pulling it off, but who knows?
I could see the complaints from that though, like, oh, why didn't he tell me something useful? I hate this feature. You know, people tend to...
Well, why you gambling your money away? That's what I'm saying.
Right, Ninman got a Master Sword from the Catfish. He'll probably be happy about that. Where was the other Master Sword? I feel like it was pretty available. Or the other, the third sword.
Third sword was... I know this. It's killing me.
Didn't seem like it was hard to get to, so I'm not... It's just something he hasn't checked yet, or I just can't remember what it was. Wasn't it in, like, Mireshed somewhere random?
Something like that. I really should take notes while commentating this mess.
I've been trying to track the entrances, but this can be a little hard to on the fly. Also track the items in random.
Yeah, it's hard enough to track it when it's just one. When you're just playing by yourself, when you're looking at 2 playthroughs, it can be a little bit messy.
All right, Wolfie.
Which is why I tip my hat to the trackers.
Wolfie has made his way through the dark. Has no health left whatsoever, but he also still has a fairy, I believe. Yep, there it was.
And he's got cape strats, so we can see that action.
Ninben, as expected, taking that hook shot straight to GT, so he's going to get a few goodies here. Oh, that's where the sword was. I think it was in Stalfos.
I know there was a glove in here.
Unless I'm crazy, but I think it was somewhere in GT. I could, in fact, be crazy. It's been known to happen. Okay, so it wasn't in this room.
Wait, it was in Turtle Rock.
Oh, right. Okay, never mind. Chain Chomp
room.
Okay, and Ninman has not found, speaking of Turtle Rock, that's particular, again, is Tower Key, so he's going to skip the Compass Room for now, which I think had junk anyway, so it's...
It was the Blue Cane, which I guess you could consider junk at this point.
Yeah, with a cape, I would basically consider it junk.
There is the bug net for Wolfie in Mimic Cave. And I imagine he's heading right back into Pod. So we're going to see a significantly larger portion of Pod here than we did on Ninbon.
Yeah,
maybe
also,
Wolfie will be able to pull off the potion.
I totally missed whether Vitreous was a pendant or crystal. I don't see it marked, so I didn't, and I looked away at the wrong moment.
All right, crystal we're seeing.
All right, so that's first crystal on the board for Wolfie. We're at about an hour. That's not too...
I'd say that's a reasonably common occurrence.
So Wolfie did just open the front door because he can hammer you up, so he doesn't care. He's got 3 keys. That's pretty decent.
Yeah, if you're very careful, you can avoid. You can get to the point where you only need 4 keys total, but you have to not open that front door. So if Wolfie wants to clear out the entire dungeon, he will need to have a total of 5 keys now. Shoutouts to Ice Rod missing all day on Ice Armos.
Alright, so far he hasn't found too much interesting in the back pod. He's gonna hammer jump though, so that'll give us 3 more items. Yeah, unfortunately Ninban did not have beams coming in here. Even though he had the powder, he did not powder the anti-fairy, which would have given him a much easier. He is demonstrating though with the Master Sword you would rather poke rather than slash, because the damage tables for Armos Knights are very weird, and Fire Sword does more damage than Master Sword unless you poke. Oh, big key to Swamp Palace. That's a pretty nice find for Wolfie before actually going into Swamp Palace, which I'm sure is on his mind with all the equipment.
Absolutely.
Didn't see what was in the big chest.
Wolfie feeling his way around in the dark, gets another piece of heart, and that's going to do it. Mushroom, very interesting. We did find the witch's hut. I can't quite remember where it was off the top of my head, but
yeah, that's one thing I forgot to mark, so I can't help you on that.
Right, Spectacle Rock business entrance, I believe.
Alright, Ninman's got his flipper, so Swamp Palace also probably looking kind of attractive to him right now. We may see a little bit of convergence here.
Alright, so we're more than likely going to finally get to see what is on the right-hand side here of Pod with a successful potion glitch. Alright, that should be good. And there we go. Camera unlocked, and just lead them off screen.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad at this. I tend to always bounce off the wall like Ninman. And Ninban, speaking of, showing an interesting bit of routing you can do with mirror and flippers. Oh, big key of Ice Palace. Another good find before going into that. And, you can mirror here in this one spot in the Dark World and get access to the hobo with the flippers. It's a nice little shortcut considering how long it takes to swim to the hobo.
Just a green rupee though, so gotta be a little bit disappointed with that. Looks like Wolfie is headed up to Hyrule Castle area.
Magic bat check, I think? I don't think he's done that.
Mm-hmm.
Ninban's making his way to the Dark World shopping mall, as we call it. Has not, or almost died there, but he still has a potion. Wolfie is going to fake powder, it looks like, because he has not actually found the real powder, which I did not realize.
Yeah, it was in Skull Woods, if we recall correctly.
Oh yeah, he hasn't been in Skullwood's property yet, has he?
And just a big 20. So he's just gonna save and quit there. Or not even save, just quit.
Yeah, wants his magic back, not a bad idea. Garbage hint over here in the Dark World Ice Rod area. Ice Rod Cave, the wrong side though.
And this one we know to contain 2 items, and it is Mire Shed.
Maybe Wolfie didn't come over here. I don't remember seeing Mire Shed for sure.
And it's a pod key.
Oh, maybe he did. Yeah, because I think he does have that pod. He does have or he has found Skullwoods, but he doesn't have a fire source, so he can't do anything further in there. I guess he's still just searching entrances before he dives dungeons to see what he can find. He does have access to Swamp Palace. I don't know that he's pulled a dam, actually. That might be why he hasn't gone there yet.
I'm not even gonna lie, I cannot for the life of me remember where the dam was.
It's somewhere in the Mire area, or that's about when Ninban had pulled it. Was it when he found
right,
the way to Mire?
wasn't it back of Desert?
Left side, I think. I don't think that Wolfie actually found the connector to Mire, though, which was Hyrule Castle. I don't think Wolfie went out of that.
That being said, at this point, Wolfie could literally just fly over there.
Yeah, I imagine he's going to do that soon with Mitz. He's got a couple more things to clean up on South Shore before he makes that move, it looks like. I don't think he checked Bombo's tablet before, or he checked
not.
it and it was something good.
He instead mirrored to the light world and checked the canyon and canyon lift locations.
I don't think he's checked. Well, maybe he did check Cave 45. I don't remember seeing it.
Map of Pod. That's not useful.
Speaking
Here's
of
our
hints,
Chia hint.
super useless.
Yep.
All right, Wolfie is now going somewhere. Has he not done Mini Moldorm Cave? I don't think he's done Mini Moldorm. Alright, that hint sort of helpful for Nimban, I think. I don't think he's actually been to...
Yeah, he took the connector in the lift spot and never checked the other cave next to it, yeah. So he hasn't seen Tower of Harry yet.
Although it's not exactly hard to get to, so I guess the helpfulness of that is debatable.
It'll at least point you in that direction, because you might just completely forget that you hadn't checked that. That is something I would do.
He's getting a hint that he already knows about because he went through that connector, so that's not super useful to him. Might have been technically useful to Wolfie, but he did find the Mitz, so he doesn't really need to go through Hyrule Castle to get there. He just knows he doesn't have to open that.
So Wolfie hasn't been over to this dark shopping mall either, so he's going to get another pod key. So.
Okay, so yeah, I didn't. I guess he just went to Catfish and Zora area and didn't go here afterwards. But that's going to be 4 pod keys. 4 pod keys of a pendant pod, which is interesting. The more keys you find of that, the more you start thinking about maybe Sahasrahla might have something good for.
And there is always that ever-looming pedestal possibility. There are a lot of items that could be logically required on the pedestal that aren't actually required. And then there are just a few that could be actually required.
Yeah, like if there's a pod key on the pedestal, for the most part, nobody is going to need that. They might pull it in the process of trying to find whatever else they're looking for, but very rare that you would actually need that. But it would be super required.
Finds Mini Moldorm Cave in the Desert Rock, the Checkerboard Cave entrance.
And another 5 items. Small key of Thieves Town, but we already know that's junk in the big chest. So basically, that's only fulfilling a bit of logic.
There we go, fire source. Now we're in good shape.
A pod key on a pedestal is not possible when pod's dependent. I was just discussing like possibilities of things that could be on pedestal in any given seed that you would not actually need to worry about.
Yeah. Like people wouldn't worry about a Turtle Rock small key on the pedestal, for instance, things like that.
Yeah, so in this instance, you know there's no pod key on the pedestal, but like it's always something that could come up as a technical pedestal seed that you would not actually need to take or get the pedestal.
We see Wolfie is in the mire area, so should be locating the dam soon.
Meanwhile, we're going to take our fire source, go straight to her basement, it looks like, so this could be interesting. He's also actually going to find that fire rod very soon, too, because he's got his mirror in his... I think that's really going to put them on about even footing as far as items found. I don't know. Clearing, Wolfie might be slightly ahead.
GT Big Key could always definitely be on the pedestal, and I feel like that's something that a lot of people would put off as well, just because, you know, GT Big Key locks, what, 5 items in this?
Yeah, we're doing Crystal's goal, so it's not technically required to go upstairs. It could be required, but it's not automatically required. Crystal's goal means you do not have to defeat Aghanim 2, unless perhaps he's blocking progression. We know he's not actually blocking progression in this case, because there's a fairy drop after Aghanim 2, so there's no reason to defeat him today.
Oh, right. Ice Palace was the back of Desert, so it would be interesting and, you know, possibly likely, due to a lot of people's tendency to sort of remember the last thing they did, for Wolfie to go ahead and grab that fire rod and then just head back to Ice Palace.
Looks like Ninman's actually got that on his mind.
Unfortunately, as we recall, he was unable to pull off the potion glitch, so he didn't get the big key of Ice Palace out of Pod.
Yeah, so he'll be isolating that chest, which, if it has anything, will be fairly punishing. That's not a good chest to have to go back to.
Isolating? I see what you did there.
Well, it wasn't my intention, but
I know.
I'll take it. Oh, first chest is a big key to GT. Well, that's not something they're too excited. Does put well, they can do the right side to the big chest since they've both already done the left.
Yeah, that's at least a small consolation. It really sucks to find the big key once you've done the entire basement. Then you're just like, really?
Yeah, I don't think they've gotten a hint for the big chest of GT yet. It is one of those technical garbage locations that you can get a hint for. It's one because it's annoying. And we see the second hint in Ice Palaces for the fire rod we literally just found.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ice Palace. Thanks.
I swear, I feel like that happens more
information.
I feel like that happens more with the entrance hints. You just like get a hint for something you've definitely already.
Alright, so Wolf is not tempted by the Ice Palace play and is instead heading up to Death Mountain.
Yeah, did he find that he found the dam, right?
He did.
So they've got a couple of interesting. He's got a couple of interesting options: clear, full clear swamp, full clear ice.
This looks like a swamp play to me. As we recall, swamp was the lower left cave down here.
So it is. He's had the equipment to clear this for a bit. He's probably had this on his mind. He may go ahead and do ice right after this. It's not too hard to get.
What up, Mirror Shield? I hope you didn't plan on seeing Link's face anytime soon.
So we will be delayed on seeing if anything good is in the Ice Palace big chest for a little while.
Oh, there's a big key to Hera.
Okay, well, Swamp's already looking interesting.
Meanwhile, Nimbon finds the pretty much worthless Ether Medallion.
So he can clear ice and swamp now. That's 2 dungeons that he can get that he can full clear. He's got the fire rod, so he can do the basement too. Although it's not going to be worth his time. I expect Ninman will actually probably go to Swamp right after this because he also has the means to full clear it. Doesn't have the big key because that was in the back and he didn't have enough pod and he didn't have enough keys to get back there. So we'll see if that will hurt him here.
Alright, so that hint right there in Ice Palace, that said the southwest Death Mountain Foothills Cave. That refers to everybody's favorite location, the one where you mirror from the top of Bumper Cave. And so that's saying that that's a fortune teller, so it's pretty much worthless. So no need to check that.
Alright, Ice Palace not doing much good so far. Swamp Palace past the Hierarchy hasn't been interesting yet. Looks like we're gonna get a little left side action though. Not a bad idea. We're still we're not really early, but we're not super late in the game, so there's no reason not to do left side.
Yeah, unless you got a hint to the contrary, it's usually a good idea to just go ahead and do it if you're in Swamp. At least an entrance. Keysanity.
Right, there's that arrow we heard about earlier. Or read about.
I mean, Link probably heard it telepathically. That's the in-game, in-universe explanation anyway.
Alright, so Ninman really hasn't found anything of consequence in here. The only big question mark is that big chest. So we'll see what happens when Wolf.
Some sick cold stare beats. Ooh, getting a little bit bodied here and there, but we are okay. And finds Quake.
Alright, well that's entrance into the Turtle Rock entrance.
Yep. And a crystal in Ice Palace. Meanwhile, wasn't much on the left side of Swamp if I was actually paying attention.
No, there was a boomerang, it looked like.
Right, it was blue boomerang, that was it.
Yeah, and depending on how you feel about boomerangs, I guess that's, okay.
Would have been somewhat useful for the Ganon's Tower play, except we already did that.
Alright, so Ninban is taking his fire rod straight to... we don't think we know if this is a pendant or a crystal yet, but it is a pretty quick clear for some information in an...
Yeah. At a certain point in the run, once you know enough crystals and pendants, a lot of times you go and clear the dungeons you don't know about to get the last bits of information.
In the back of Swamp, we've got a red mail and our final sword.
Hello. It's the ridiculous equipment emporium.
It's the Kill Ganon care package, overpowered, ready. And the other castle tower key. Speaking of things you could clear, but you don't necessarily want to.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of Lampless Agate Tower, though it is reasonable with the fire rod.
It's not as... I did it once. It wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was, if you just know where the torches are. So,
speaking of which,
I wouldn't do it without
bombos.
the lamp. Yeah, I wouldn't do it without the lamp, but, yeah, Skullwoods was, looked like a crystal and bombos, so... That's one more dungeon down, and we have all the medallions, not that we actually needed anything but Quake.
And Argus going down. A couple of spins, that'll take care of it. And what does Argus have? A small key, in this case to GT. That is the last GT small key.
Alright, well, another crystal. So we have a couple of possibilities left for pendants. Interestingly enough, we're not getting any pendant information so far. other than the green pendant from Sahasra.
Now, Ninbon is about to go face off against Trinex, having gathered all 4 small keys.
Yeah, but he doesn't have
does
the
he
big
not have the big key?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
I was about to say, looking at his tracker, this might be a bad idea. But he can go backwards through the dungeon. He'll end up picking up that tempered sword if he goes far enough. This is actually a very easy dark room from this direction. You literally just hold up and you're good to go.
Oh, you know what? I was not aware that it was that easy.
Yep, nope. That's all you gotta do. Just get on your track, hold up, you're done.
It's like I spent a bunch of time memorizing it from the other direction. I just never had the occasion to figure it out from that direction. We have a small key to pod.
That is number 5 overall. I don't believe Wolfie has that one yet.
And of course, Ninbon going backwards through the big key door. Of course, none of these doors have 2 sides. Because, physics, logic.
Looks like he's gonna check the connector and find out that it was pretty available to start before he does the middle.
Right, the eye wall is...
Oh wait, no, Wolfie came in through the...
Ain't no way to get there.
Wolfie came in through the big chest, I forgot.
Yeah, I think Ninbon has found the big chest. Wolfie getting the Bombos medallion and crystal as well.
Alright, Ninman's about to go check out this middle. He'll get that GT small key and hit up the chain chomps for his temper. Here's the Argus bunny form we described earlier.
Final Ganon's Tower small key. And Ninbon will be picking up the tempered sword. And I imagine we'll continue to the front with that Cane of Samaria.
Right,
check 3 more chests.
So Wolfie's just gonna go for Hera first. It's pretty quick, easy clear before he goes to...
And we do know it's a crystal, so feels pretty good. So basically, the remaining crystal is either Eastern Palace, Turtle Rock, or Thieves Town, and we don't know which. We do, however, know where all those dungeons are.
Yeah.
We don't have the ability to beat any of them.
Well, we do now.
Yep, there's Turtle Rock's big key. That will give Wolfie access to that. And to be honest, I feel... I really like going after those dungeons that I don't quite know whether they are crystals or not. At least going straight to the boss.
I don't think that Wolfie knows Ice Palace either, but yeah, Turtle Rock, no, Laser Bridge is super accessible, and if you haven't checked the front, killing Trinex will deposit you at the front, and you'll be able to check those items as well, so pretty good play overall. I'd be very unsurprised if he didn't go there next. Or if he did go there.
And just a piece of heart on Moldorm, that is going to do it for that. I don't believe Wolfie has checked the basement, so he may actually go wait that out.
Yeah, he's still missing
a full heart.
Yeah, he's still missing a fair amount of stuff, so it makes sense to go in, but
he's peacing out.
Pretty good time save for his part, because that's not going to lead to anything, so he's never going to have to...
Yep, he is directly to Trinex.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and check this out, kill Trinex. He's going to get this one chest on the way first, because you can go backwards to it. Then he will kill Trinex, get the front items, and then depending on what any of that has, if Trinex has something good, that may lead him in a direction, or he may just end up going back to Ice Palace after that, because that is still a full clearable dungeon.
going to get this pod key, which will basically grant him access to the rest of pod if he so desires. Minus, of course, the boss, due to lack of bow.
Well, he's not really going to ever want access to that boss anyway, so I don't think he'll care about it.
We could be in one of those very strange situations where the entire seed is completable without the bow. That'd be pretty strange.
That is a good point, because Eastern could, in fact, be our last pin. Although I think it's a little weirder sometimes when the seed is completable without the mirror, at least, especially new. Bowless seed is pretty fun, though.
My favorite is hammerless seed, which is theoretically possible. Requires 3 specific dungeons to be pendants.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever see that in my lifetime. Hookless, I think I've seen hookless, I've seen potential bowless, and potential gloveless. Those are also a little weird.
Lamp on Trinex! There we go.
Okay, well that's not going to lead you anywhere that you care about, because he's checked a lot of that stuff anyway. So, I feel like Ice Palace would be a good play for him. Ice Palace before Aghanim, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Unless he's feeling a little crazy.
A little saucy.
He could theoretically be down to only needing the Thieves Town Big Key and the Desert Big Key. So depending on what Thieves Town is. So if it's Thieves Town versus East.
Oh, I didn't actually notice whether Turtle Rock was a crystal or a pendant.
Turtle Rock was in fact a crystal.
So that's all 7 crystals. Eastern and Thieves Town are definitely pendants.
Oh, hey, good point. I can math. So he is in fact down to Desert Palace.
Big Key.
Huh, interesting.
So yeah, very, very likely we don't even need the bow this seed.
Depending on, of course, on where that Desert Palace Big Key is. They have a few possibilities left to check. We know it's not an Ice Palace. Well, unless it's in the big chest, in which case I feel kind of bad for Ninman.
Yeah, there is that. Alright, looks like Wolfie probably heading for Ice Palace here. It's the back of Desert. I imagine we're going to see a mirror. Yeah.
So this is one of those weird situations where you're like, I only need 1 item for go mode. And you feel like you're in a good position, but at the same time, that item can be literally anywhere. So you might not be in the greatest of positions. This is like these hunts can go on for a long time if you're just 1 item.
Yeah, the Desert Palace Big Key is today's Ice Rod, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be tempted to go clear some more pod. Although he really has gotten a lot of it already. Like
I think he's down to one spot, the Big Key chest.
Yeah.
I think his next move will probably be right side GT.
Yeah, I would think so, because he could clear 5 items that way. Or 6 items that way.
And then if you find the bow, you might just go up GT. But you wouldn't finish it. You'd just get the final chest and leave. Really no reason to beat Aga 2.
Yeah, Ninban is going... I forget what's over here.
I don't know if he hasn't been there, so...
Oh, he must have... he got distracted by the castle, I think, and never went this far. As for Ninban, he needs... well, he's got full clearable swamp coming up, which will give him the Tower of Hair Big Key. The Turtle Rock Big Key was in Hera, so that'll basically put him on the same footing as Wolfie if he just goes and clears his dungeons. And then after that, he's gonna have the same, weird situation and options to choose from. Desert Big Key, which could be anywhere. Do I go right side GT? Do I? Well, he's got a lot of pod he hasn't cleared yet, so he could go back there.
So yeah, I imagine Swamp is Ninbon's, filter here. He's got to feed himself into there, and then he can start clearing other things. And as we know, he's headed that direction.
Yeah, this could be either very short seed incoming or a very long hunt for a Desert Big Key. It's not unusual for people to be one item from go mode for like 30 to 40 minutes in this mode.
Though with the access they have and the amount of items they have, I don't expect it to take too long to clear out all the stuff they haven't seen yet.
Yeah,
there's mobility options. It's pretty solid at this point.
Yeah, I expect they're gonna. I wouldn't be very surprised if they ran into either the Thieves Town Big Key or the Bow before they ran into the Desert Big Key. To be honest. Then again, let's see what's in this big chest at an Ice Palace.
We'll see that momentarily, I imagine. Taking care of iced tea real quick, and then I imagine we'll just bomb jump ourselves over to the single arrow and then see what's in the big chest.
Ninban is making his way through Swamp. He found the Desert Palace the Tower of Hera Big Key. That's really about all that was worth in there, I think, other than another sword, which he already has tempered. So
sword and mail, but nothing you actually need. 50 rupees. Now, of course, if that had turned out to be the Desert Big Key, that would have been technically locked behind the bow, which would have been a massive sequence break. Would have felt real good.
Yeah, but so far not our answer for the day. Yeah, so I think right side GT is the most attractive option left for Wolfie. He's done most of the stuff related to the mitts, I think, already. Not Turtle Rock entrance, but he has the means to get in there soon. I think that was Quake was right here.
Mm-hmm.
So that essentially opens up the last entrance for him, really.
And I think there might still be one item location outstanding. So it might be something they check. But I feel like GT is the play.
Oh, you mean as far as interiors? I can never keep track enough to realize what's missing.
Yeah, I don't know for sure because I haven't been able to keep up. But I think we're missing one of the Great Fairies.
There's something like 30 interiors, I think, with items, so it's like super hard to keep.
All right, yep. GT looks like the play for Wolf 38.
All right, 6 more items, and then after this, he really, unless there's something over here, he doesn't really have a lot of like super attractive options, really.
Skipping Towel Room for now, that's somewhat reasonable. You can just hit it up later if you have to.
Yeah, one item from go mode. Mind of Me actually makes a good point. And this is terrible to say, but if there's nothing over here, his most attractive option is to go to Aga 1 and get the...
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is perfectly reasonable. There's 5 items there, any one of which could be the Desert Big Key. Never mind.
Oh, wow. He's going to sub 2 this seed. So good.
Just beelined it all day. Free desert key. Let's go.
All right. This is a pretty friendly seed.
He's going to technically have to do silverless Ganon. He has the silvers, but no bow to speak of.
I would make that trade for a sub 2 easily.
Seems legit. All right, let's go for that desert entrance. I don't quite remember where it is, but I'm sure these runners kept track of that.
I marked that one. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, it's right here actually. Yeah, it's this shop. The bow seed. This is pretty hot stuff right now.
What if bow on Landmo? That would be honestly supremely disappointing. Not even gonna lie.
Yeah, I actually don't want to see the bow at this point. He's gonna get the lamp. Oh, he already got the lamp. He did a few Trinix. It's Ninban that hasn't gone to Trinix yet. So yeah, I really don't want to see the bow.
Lamp is here. Also, they have the lamp. Also half magic, so shouldn't be any trouble keeping those torches lit in the second phase or the last phase of Ganon.
Man, this seed is just clear dungeons and run to the finish line. What a nice.
I feel like I might have sub 230'd this. Shovel.
All right, so that is 145, Wolfie's last crystal. Now all he has to do is go kill Ganon. That is good stuff. And no bow.
Ganon was Lost Woods, right?
Yeah, pretty super available. Didn't even need anything to jump down there. Man, I love this seed.
Yeah, why wasn't I playing this seed? What's wrong with me? For Rock there in the chat, I highly recommend it if you get the chance to play it. Please do.
Yeah, this
feels good.
Randomizer itself is fun. Entrance randomizer is like super fun.
And into the Ganon fight. We are now into phase 2. Getting some dashes inside the Ring of Fire.
This is going to be close to a top 5 time for entrance randomizer.
I have heard of a mythical like 126 that happened.
The best record, verified record, is like 139.
Yeah, we found the silver arrows.
Found the silvers, don't care, can't shoot them at you.
Alright, there's one. Takes 12 spins just after Ganon starts teleporting away, where he becomes vulnerable. A little bit of an oversight. Do you know, just off the top of your head, do you know if Silverless is possible in non-Japanese 1.0?
I have no earthly idea, because I've never been a glitch. Oh man, and we have a snipe.
Oh, the snipe is real. So close. But, you know, this is really based on relative time to the top 25%, so I don't think Wolfie's going to be too disappointed with a time just a few seconds off.
Yeah, especially in a seed where you go bolus and sub 2, like, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, official time 147.59. After Goomba's first place 147.28, so just 31 seconds separating first and second place.
Yeah, and we had Amazing Ampharos roll right in on Wolfie's heels in third place.
Good lord. They 148.38.
I think there's probably some puzzled runners in this race right now.
And every single one of these runners apparently improving their personal best for the category. Goomba by 2 minutes, Wolfie by 5:12, and AA by 10:23. We may have to invite Wolf to the Discord. Ah, there he is. And we are now joined by our on-screen winner, second place overall. Very super close finish here for Wolf 38. Wolfie, congratulations.
Well, that went well. Good game. Just beat my Cross Keys PB there.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you feel about the mythical bolus seed?
That was hilarious. I had to do silverless Ganon, not because I didn't have silvers, because I couldn't shoot silvers.
Yeah, that was a super fun one to realize when Desert Big Key just was just sitting there very available and you never had to find the boat.
Yeah, I appreciate it being just in the first chest in GT.
Yeah, the very first spot you checked had to feel pretty good there.
Yeah, because I could have spent like 20 more minutes searching the world there, but sometimes you get lucky and go straight to it.
Yeah, we spent the whole time talking about the 30-minute one item from Go mode situations that you can find yourself in.
Yep. And if it wasn't in GT, then the next play was going to beat Aghanim, so I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, and the Aghanim bait was real. Both of those keys were available, one of them available real early, so I feel like I might have got debated by that.
Yeah, this ended up just being a pursue dungeons seed, and everything you need is just sitting right there.
Mm-hmm. And I think I executed pretty well today too, so I'm quite happy with that run.
Yeah, very nice execution. And, all three of the top three finishers coming in within about a minute of each other. It was pretty stinking close. I imagine these runners took similar approaches to routing this seed.
I felt so lucky with my early route, with how quickly I found like Desert Right with the sword and the boots, and then quickly to the mirror, the hook shot, the flute. Pretty much went straight towards all those things, and then I was able to do really efficient Dark World clearing.
Yeah, that Desert Palace early on, I was like, excuse me? You're not supposed to have your own small key, and you're definitely not supposed to have the sword and the boots. What's going on? I mean, also Moon Pearl right off the bat is like, what is actually going on today?
Just one of your random jet seeds for entrance. They don't happen all the time, but when they do, they're pretty...
It is a thing of beauty. What doesn't debate me? Good question.
We see Ninman's gotten himself on the path. He's going to clear Hera. He's going to get his Turtle Rock key. That should lead him to get his last... get one of his last dungeons, and then he's just got to go to right side GT, I think.
Yeah. Luckily, I don't think for Ninbon the missing that Ice Palace big key is going to be a big deal. He had issues with the potion glitch there. Yeah, I imagine. I mean, you probably didn't feel bad going into any dungeon here. You had all the keys you needed, and even when you didn't, there was plenty to go around.
Yeah, I never really had to make a bad play that whole run. That's pretty rare.
Mm-hmm. And you know, the Eastern Palace not being required means the initial dip was just fine, and the hookshot was there, so that was great.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff. I mean, you didn't have to go into pod, it looks like, really for anything. But you got the swamp big key, so that at least gave you peace of mind going into swamp.
Yeah.
See Ninbon now heading for Turtle Rock. Finish off Trinex. This will be the second time he's entered this room.
But at least he can get there now.
It's like, oh wait, I need the big key. Yeah, it happens occasionally. Yeah, sub 2 for any entrance or Crossworld. That's kind of my personal Everest. If I want to get there eventually.
Yeah, I think you will. I mean, even I've managed it once, and I'm not exactly great. I'm mid-range.
And looks like we have a 4th place finish from Frame, depending on how you want to pronounce that, at a 154.51.
And quite a few sub 2s on this seed.
Mm-hmm. And it's not out of the realm of possibility for Ninbon to pull it off either. If he goes directly to Ganon's Tower and picks up that big key, he'll be gold.
That is really his best option, so I don't see him doing much else right.
So Wolf,
looks like he's going
what else any other comments you have on this seed? Looks like your collection rate's a 163, which is about what you might expect given the different number of things you were able to get to.
Yeah, that was just very abnormally friendly seed. Also, the rare bowless finishes is always fun.
Feels real good. Ninbon actually hadn't cleared out the rest of Hookshot Cave, but turns out meh.
Yeah, well, he's going away from GT, so I don't know what he's doing, but it's not what he needs to do.
Yeah, the GT big key on this is kind of... Oh,
I take it back.
Just going
This
GT.
man's just smarter than me. That's all right.
I'm not sure which of those was actually faster, but hey, I'll take it.
Well, hopefully he skips Tile Room and goes straight to the right side with only one item left. That's usually the play you want.
Looks like he will not be skipping Tile Room.
So I think that lets out a sub 2 for him, but it won't be too much higher than 2 hours.
Also getting a 5th place finish from Sonicam there at a 155.54. I am kind of interested to see what's in Tile Room. In before Bow. Okay, no.
I'm hearing a rumor that the bow is actually in Lumberjack. In the well.
Oh, wow. The debate is absolutely real. So if you got debated by Aga Tower, you got severely debated by Aga Tower.
Oh, Hitsuyan coming in with the sub 2 157, 6th place. This is gonna be a interesting score for a lot of people because this is like a low time for finishers. The top,
Yeah,
the top
everyone's
25%
playing on the
finishers.
same seed, yes. And so the top 25%, which, if there were 25 racers, that is rounded out by 6th place, possibly 7th, depending on how we round it up. So, yeah, the average time is going to be sub 2, which is pretty gross. So, anybody who got debated by Aga Tower is probably going to pick up like 30 minutes.
Possibly, depends on how they route it. I think it was Faram saying that he found the bow in Lumberjack, so...
But I guess he elected to go into GT after that, and then he was fine. Considering GT's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a good idea to go ahead and have everyone play the same seed. If you don't do that, there's really no way to compare.
Right, Inman is rapidly going towards his last crystal. And then he'll be able to go kill Ganon. He's not... it's not going to take him too long. Maybe a 202, 203, something.
Yeah, something to that effect. That seems reasonable. All right, 7th crystal acquired for Ninbon. Now, time to go to Ganon.
Oh, Waterloo finishing right at 2 hours. I believe that's a pretty good improvement.
Yeah, boots were available basically right outside Link's house if you did it right. You go into the Light World Hype Cave, and then inside Desert Palace is its own small key, and then over to the right-hand side is a sword and boots. This is a ridiculously fast entrance seed.
And then been dropping right in about 201.20. So this is going to be over pretty fast. Gold sword. Oh, well, no, it's got silvers, but it doesn't.
Yep. Well, there is enough to get through the first 2 phases. I'm going to go ahead and get the lamp ready for setting up the torch glitch. And then you want 12 spins. It is possible to get 3 spins in per torch lighting if you get the torch glitch. And torch glitch acquired. Though on the first cycle, you'll usually only get 2. But yeah,
I really
looks
need to
like
figure out
Ninbon
the
is set up for 3.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good on that. I need to figure out the timing of this. I've only ever gotten a 3 in one cycle, like one.
So the trick is to make sure you light the torch right after Ganon gets to where he's going, and then he'll start moving again. Then, of course, you want to make sure you can charge the spin in time. it can be pretty tricky when Ganon's on the top of the screen. But we see Ninbon pull it off, no problem.
That was a really good clean game.
Yeah, we're being told that the bow is actually in the well. And Ninbon finishing with a time of 2:03.12 and sniping Gus with a 2:03.15. Super close between those two as well. We'll see if Ninbon wants to join us as well. But I mean, all these runners are going to have 900 point times. Plus.
Yeah, this is going to be a really weird one for scores, I think, because so many people finish so quick, and then anybody finishing later is going to go up against a really low time.
Yeah, so you're going to have a real large clump of very high scores, and then some stuff in the 600 to 700 range, I think, which is probably where I'd be.
All right, Ninman should be joining us shortly.
All right. So I hope you all have had a good time today. We are joined now by Ninban, came in 8th place in this race, and in a very close, very ridiculous timed race. You're still 10-15 minutes within first place. Super close. Well done, sir.
Thank you. GG's to Wolf, who finished earlier.
I think he may have moved on.
Yeah, he moved on.
Yeah, I know he's on here, but just wanted to say it anyway, since we were both on his team.
Absolutely. So how about that bolus seed?
Yo, it was very nice. Going in GT really was the play. Unfortunately, I didn't have my Somaria when I went in and got the flippers and all that. But go mode coming back.
Yeah.
Once you had all those crystals, you're like, okay, GT's best. Let's go, and you get the big key in the first chest you look at. Of course you do.
Yeah, the second chest, and then I just opened the others for the fun.
Oh, right, of course.
But yeah.
And it turns out if you really wanted that bow, you had to kill Aga 1 and go to the well.
Oh. Yeah, he sent at that place, that lumberjack cave with the 5 chests. I didn't want to do it. But then when I started seeing people finished, I knew it most likely wasn't there.
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable play. Knowing the finish times of others can really get you some information in that aspect.
Yeah, when you started seeing it. Go ahead.
Cool. I just wanted to know, I think Ganon's hole is the fairy drop down thing. I'm not sure.
Yes,
but
that is correct.
Yeah, so finishing Ganon's tower was of no value anyway.
Right, so yeah, it made sense to not go back until you had some way of clearing out as much of it as you could. And of course you had crystal dungeons to clear at that point, so no real problem there.
Yeah, the start was slow. Then all the crystals just one after the other. Let's go.
Yeah. You didn't get a lot of crystals starting out, yeah, true, but it was kind of interesting that the boots and that sword were just sitting there in Desert Palace with its own small key in it,
Yeah.
ready to make it go fast.
Yeah, I'm glad I pushed through for that chest with all the enemies, and then a sword. Then yay, boots. Now I can get bombs because I didn't have bombs yet.
Yeah, and of course, that 10 bombs on the torch. It feels good. Feels real good.
Super feels good. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say we had a couple more runners rolling in. Megawatt in 11th, 207, 31, and Top Life 12th, 207, 50. Really close.
Yeah, we had number play back in 10th at 206. So, like, just a whole ton of people finishing with really, really solid times here in this seed, being pretty strong for most runners here. I just hope you didn't get debated into Aga Tower and start clearing out Eastern and Pod and all that mess. You know?
Yeah, I missed the pod potion glitch like 2 times in a row, so I didn't clear pod.
Yeah.
Besides
So over
the very
there
fun, but
was the Ice Palace Big Key, but it turned out that wasn't very important, just 50 rupees. But yeah, it wasn't important. Pod was a complete bust today, which is kind of strange.
Where
because-
was the Thieves Town Big Key?
We have no idea.
Yeah, I never saw that. I don't know if anybody found it. If that was off stream.
I would guess probably up GT, maybe in the big chest, but I don't think it's in the well. But yeah, nobody found the Thieves Town Big Key, from what we can tell. Could be Armos or Helmosaur. Yeah.
Yeah, with as many keys as Pod threw at you, it was weird to see it have nothing. So logically, to finish this siege, you were expected to go do Aga 1 to get the bow, to go to Pod to get that Ice Palace Big Key, but who cares about that?
Oh yeah, who cares? I think Pod was my next destination. If GT had nothing, I probably would have done the top and then go back to Pod.
But of course, GT was supremely nice to you today and got you that big key that you needed right away. Yeah, after Tower Room, of course. So yeah, we were having a discussion. A lot of people thought that it was a good idea to skip Tower Room at that point, and it was hindsight because we actually knew where the big key was at that point. That being said, I can't really fault anybody for being thorough when you're just looking for one thing.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal because if you have to come back, you just wasted ultimately probably the same time that it takes to do the Tower Room. Well, it matters, right, if you're neck to neck with an opponent or something. But at that end of race, I don't think it changes much.
Yeah, in this qualifier race, you're just going for the best time you can get. You're not really competing. I mean, you're sort of competing with the other people, but at the same time, you just really want to put up a good showing in the time department. And so, yeah. I mean, even with that 8th place finish, you're still going to have something like 900 some odd points.
Oh yeah, I really don't know how the points work. Can you explain that to me and for the audience?
Easy. I can do that.
Let's go.
I believe so. The way it works is you take the top 25%, which is either going to be 6 or 7 in this case. I don't know what it would be.
It gets floored,
average
so
those.
6.
So it's floored. So it'd be 6 then.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So you average those times, and then that is 1,000-point score, and then you just take the total number of seconds, and it's like 1 minus that times your time or something like that.
Yeah, 1 minus your time minus the average time. The average time minus your time, divided by the average time, and that entire thing times 1,000. I have to fix one more bug, else I would have showed it now. But there's a little more bug I need to fix, so I'll show the rankings page on ZSR that will auto-update during the races in like 5 minutes after the stream.
Okay. So we've almost got that up for the cross key thing then. Cool.
Yeah, it's already up. The race just broke it, so I have to fix it.
Yeah, that's very nice. Thank you for the explanation.
And yeah, Lost just mentioned that's the similar method or calculation we used for Ocarina of Time Randomizer, except for that here we actually adjust the formula to not be top 3, but actually 25% of the entire participants. So
yeah, I think that's a better metric for this in particular, at least, because one, the race sizes are going to vary significantly, and two, there's just so much variance in this particular mode that you want to make sure that people don't get completely screwed out of decent scores by the RNG.
alrighty then. So this was already qualification race number 7. We are halfway there, folks. 7 more to go. And as we did so far, we will have another qualification race every single day, all the way until next weekend. 2 of them will be on Speed Gaming, the rest will be here on ZSR. And yeah.
If you're looking forward to more Cross Keys Rando, this is the place for it. This is I mean, I don't know if you like this mode as much as I do, but I just love it.
Yeah,
I'm not good at it, but my goodness, it's my favorite.
I can't wait because tournaments usually bring out all the obscure, like, crazy seeds. So we've already seen a couple of them in both directions. We saw qualifier number 4 was a super disaster, like no resource seed. And we saw yesterday a little bit of bunny logic. And today we saw the bolus jet seed.
Yeah, bolus jet seed is not something you ever expected to say with your mouth. But there you go. All right, so with that, I think it's about time to wrap things up. I will say thank you to our runners here, Wolf and Nimbon. Of course, to our trackers, which were Mind of Me and Sunny. And of course, to my co-commentator here, Recidador, one of the tournament administrators and, all-around decent person, I'm sure. and of course, to the ZSR family for putting on the restreams.
Sure thing.
GG to the runners. Follow those guys. Thanks to Dr. Bob Tastic, my co-com, and ZSR. And I'm glad to have the opportunity to be in an entrance tournament finally. It's one of my favorite modes, and I like seeing it get showcased a lot. And glad we attracted a lot of people. We got 80 runners so far, I think, so that's more than we really expected, and I'm glad for that.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a bit of a tournament, let me tell you.
Yeah. Can't wait to not sleep for 2 months or something. Alright, folks. Nah, it's gonna be amazing, and I'm looking forward to the next 7 call races and the brackets. Again, shout out to Dr. Bob Tastic, and to our 2 trackers for today, to Semi-Mas and to Mind of Me. And the runners, of course. And to me while we're at it. Whatever. Okay, thanks everyone for watching, and see you next stream. Tomorrow, actually, at... Don't let me lie. Tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern. So 2 a.m. UTC. We'll be back. Thanks for watching, everyone. And see you next stream.